Hello, my friends. I'm glad you stopped in. It makes all this worthwhile. Hey, Taylor, glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
I'm glad to hear you speaking. I see your picture. I presume you're there. If I see your picture,
I'm here. Yep.
we're going to make that presumption all the way through. Well, folks, this is our On Top and Hot live streaming event where we look at stocks that you want us to look at. I share hot stocks with you all week. Most of them are hot, not all of them. This gives you a chance to bring us some hot stocks, not me and Taylor, but everybody else. The more people you turn on to it, the more people can invest in it. So it's always good to spread the word if you know something. So we've got lots of tickers here to take a look at, and we're going to jump right on into that. But before we do, I thought I'd drop something on you here, folks. You're the first to hear this, okay? Maybe you're familiar with Buffalo Fireside Chats. Eric, the gentleman who also does CEO interviews and such. He and I have been doing a lot of talking here recently, and we think we're going to do a video together, live stream video, just shooting the stock stuff, you know, talking whatever comes to mind, whatever comes up, maybe Cisco and Ebert, maybe something friendlier. And we're going to open it up to the community so you all can be there too, drop some questions in, some comments, be a part of it. It's going to be very casual. There may be swearing, there may be drinking, there may be smoking. So if you're looking for a family entertainment, you may not want to come. Otherwise, that should be next week. That's what we're talking about. I will announce it when it's about ready to happen. All right, folks, we have got some decent stocks to look at today. There has been some strong activity on the market. So let's dive into that. Let me bring up my board. That's the wrong one. We're going to back up one page first. It is actually the right company. This was actually brought to me by Belmore. She brought it to me on Twitter. She's very anxious. She's at the door knocking. You haven't got your announcement up yet. You want my ticker or not? So I took her ticker early. She got here after everybody else rushed in, and she got her ticker way down the line. But first come, first served, wherever I get it. I'm a fair man. So we are looking at a stock that has caught a lot of people's interest. This is ticker PFCY. The reason I make a distinction about the Y, this is their ADR. This is an American Deposit Receipt. These are shares held by a bank, not the brokers. They do have a stock. It's down here, POFCF. This one did about 34% gains. The stock itself did 55% gain, 55%. Now, what's the difference? The ADR is only half a share. It represents half a share. So a half a share is actually going for less. I mean, look, what was the price of that one over here for a full share? $1.55. So it should be 77 cents, somewhere around there, when actually our half a share is only going for 54 cents. It's underpriced over here. So that's why it's catching up to the price of the stock. Now, this stock had some strong jumping a couple days ago. She went from 4 cents to about $3.30, somewhere like that. We're talking an 8,000% run, folks, in less than a day, 8,000%. And then she came back down. I was wanting to know, so I ran around doing due diligence. I could not find anything this morning. People kept asking me. I went and looked again. I could not find anything. Then Belmore asked me, and it's like, what am I going to do? I haven't found anything. It was right there in front of me all the time. It just isn't in all the places I normally look. So this is what I found. The stock is at 54 cents. She's up about 35% today. She's on the pink tier, the most riskiest tier of the OTC, because we don't get validated information down here. We don't even have the validation I tell you to look for. A validated profile and a validated transfer agent, which is the only validated information we get. That's not even here. So what did I learn about this company? Well, first, what does this company do? Well, this is interesting. They're into green energy, but they're doing a lot of different things. Whether they're capturing CO2 or converting CO2 or producing hydrogen, they do a lot of things. From capturing CO2 from the air and just removing it from the air. Waste to fuel developments, turning organic waste into sustainable fuels. They have blue hydrogen and green hydrogen. The difference between the two, that's not the color of the hydrogen. It's about how they make it. Blue hydrogen, when they make the hydrogen, they do create some CO2 and they capture that CO2 and it doesn't get released. Gray hydrogen, it gets released. They don't capture it all. Green hydrogen is hydrogen that's produced without any CO2s being produced, so you don't have anything to capture and worry about. It's the best hydrogen. Now, this is something that I was unaware of. This is a carbon capture utilization storage facility. They capture CO2 that is not being used industrially. Well, how do you use CO2? But more than that, you store it. They do. They store it in the ground. They store it in big holes in the bottom of the ocean. What? We store CO2? Beyond me. We also work with those big oil rigs out there in the ocean to keep them CO2 contained. They also work with wind production, and they've got all the instrumentation for that. So they do a lot, and they do it all over the world. This is a very, very big company, folks. They have right now got $8 billion worth of back orders. They've got $8 billion worth of contracts sitting on the desk already waiting to be done. They've got lots of business. They have put out bids for $60 billion worth of more business. So it's not like they don't have any business, folks. Now, this is why she is running. This is as close as I could get to it. And where did I find this information? It is not over here in the news, folks. There is no news over here. This is all old news, and this is all we get. There's nothing here. There were no filings. Where did I find this? At their website. Their bloody website is so up to date. This came out on the 29th of April. Delayed a publication of the 2023 results. Their financials are late, and a lot is happening because of it. The company expects a short delay in issuing its audited full year 2023 results, which it now expects to publish May 31st. So we're looking at a week from now. Although the audit is substantially progressed, the company and the auditor require additional time to complete the annual report. As a result of this delay, the shares will be temporarily suspended from 7:30 May 1st. That was 3 weeks ago, until they are completed. Well, I saw the jump on the 21st. I figured, hey, they're back on the market. Well, back up. On the 1st, the market took a dip and it looked like it went flat, but it was trading. There was light trading, if you call just under 1 million shares light. So I don't know if it was off the market or not. They say it was. Well, when I seen it jump on the 21st, I just presumed that their financials came out early. I looked hard and everywhere. There are no financials yet. So why they're back on the market, I don't know. Why they jumped from $4 or 4 cents to $3.30, that I can answer. As part of the group's ongoing financial restructuring, an ad hoc group of senior secured note holders have made a proposal to provide further credit to the business of $300 million. That's $200 million of new funds and $100 million of credit support to help secure performance guarantees for certain of its existing contracts. But wait, there's more. The company is active discussions with credit providers to obtain the required guarantees, which would also release $200 million of collateral and retentions. You're looking at $500 million here coming into the company. You think that's an exciting thing? We don't even know what the financials are yet. And why they're on the market, I don't know. This came out the 29th. It was on the, this is the 29th of April. It was off the market. The 21st of May would have been the first opportunity to respond to this news. Boink. So I don't know what is actually going on. Now, we don't have financials over at the OTC market. They just don't come up over there. So I'm over here at Yahoo getting this information, and we are looking at the ADR. Not that I think it makes a difference. Total revenue over the last 4 years, we do have to add 3 zeros to these, folks. Do you see the numbers we're looking at? Billions. These are billions of dollars. 2019, $5.5 billion, and it's been falling ever since. Through all these years, we are now down to $2.5 billion. Of that, well, it says here they're losing money, folks. That cost them $169 million to do that $2.5 billion worth of business. That's not $2 grand. Got one more here from Yahoo. This is their balance sheet. Total assets, $3.2 billion in assets, $3.1 billion in liabilities. We've actually got stockholder equity here. There's something left over for us, $129 million. So what was the relative volume around the company today? She's up today. She's going from about 500,000 shares over the last 30 days. But I'll bet you, I'm going to take a look here because it's worth looking at. Historical data. This is every day she's been on the market, her high, her low, her volume, all that stuff. Let's see what it was the 21st, the volume. There it is. She did 11 million shares that day. Today she did 2.9. So you can see we did have a huge jump in volume on that day. So this is a little deceiving, 500,000 every single day compared to 11 million in one. Today we did about 3 million shares. Share structure for your ADRs, outstanding shares, 362 million. Don't know what the float is, but it won't be any higher than 362. Thank God. Market cap, 290 million. Financials, well, we just took a look at that, didn't we? See, they didn't show up over here. Disclosures, I don't think there was anything or I would have shared them with you. So that's what you got going on here, folks. $500 million coming into the company. Supposedly they were off the market since May 1st. We're not supposed to be back on until May 31st, which is when their annual audited financials are supposed to be coming out. Could be another catalyst. After that last bounce, I'd be watching this. Take a look at that chart now.
Okay. So I'm just going to show real quick what this looks like on the daily chart with, I think, regular candles. So we're just down here between, it looks like, 4 or 5 cents up to about 16 cents maybe. And then we had this giant spike right here. So I'm going to show that broken down into the hourly chart. So here's what it looks like on the hourly. So it bottomed out at around like 4 or 5 cents, give or take. And we went all the way up to about 327 or 328. And that was right after the market opened. It looked like this first candle was in pre-market because it's just saying 8 o'clock. That's Central Time, by the way. And then this hourly candle started at 9. So I'm not exactly sure how much pre-market that was, but a little bit of pre-market. But most of it was after the market opened. So it was able to get in, I'm assuming. So now we're kind of in this, we kind of came down here, crossed this 21 EMA, and then came right back up, and we kind of been following it.
That looks like a controlled fall. I mean, she's definitely laying on that 20. There's no doubt about that.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is pretty good. It you can see it right pretty easily that this looks like a bull flag, straight from here. Because I mean, the size of these candles is impressive. I mean, this one goes from 29 cents all the way up to almost $1. So that is a huge candle. So keep that in mind that these candles are very big. This one is enormous. So even like from here, that's still a pretty decent percentage when you go from 55 to 60. Isn't that about like 4% or something? So these candles are significant. Every one of them are very significant. I mean, except for the doji. These are really moving in significant proportion.
Actually, I think that doji is very significant because that to me tells me
I meant just movement wise, like movement in price. Like this is a huge, like how many 100%, 200% or something, from 20 to 30 cents all the way up to $1. So
300 to 400%, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So I mean, there's 100% moves in some of these candles or more. So, but yeah, the doji could be significant in movement. I'm just saying, just price action wise, like in this 1 hour, this is a 300% move or 200% move.
Tomorrow.
So say what now?
What's the short chart look like for tomorrow?
So let's look at the 15-minute. Here's what the 15-minute looks like. Looks like we've been kind of a little bit flat.
Yeah.
But these are regular candles. If we switch to Heikinashi, you might be able to see a little more, but they're a lot bigger wicks. So it looks like most of the action is coming in right when the market opens, like right at 8:30. This was a big jump. This was 8:30 Central. That's 9:30 Eastern when the market opens. And same with this one. This is 9 o'clock. This is 8:30, 9 o'clock. So it looks like the biggest moves are right at the beginning of the hour, right at the beginning of the market.
Our highs are getting lower. We do see a downtrend on that flag right
Yeah,
now.
these are lower highs. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she may
point.
come down more. I mean, there's a lot of questions right now. I mean, there's a lot of, what happened? Were you off the market for, 3 weeks? I can't tell. She's pretty flat before the 21st.
Yeah, it was very flat. It's very hard to look at when
about 1 million shares were being traded, 800 to 900,000 every day. Now that could have been marketers and brokers. I can't tell.
I'm not sure either, but I mean, these are some really significant moves at the beginning of the day. Really significant.
Worth a watch.
There's a 100% move right here in 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely
45 to 90
on your charts or your watch list, because she's had huge bounces, lots of question marks around her, big money coming into her, and her financials are coming out in a week. So there's lots of reasons to be watching this stock.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into that next one. Oh, you got me. You're quick. This has been highly talked about. Everybody's talking about this wherever I go, and there's lots of conversation right here in our own comments about this. We have looked at this once or twice over the last couple of months on this show. This is BNED, Barnes & Noble Education Incorporated. This is an American company. Finished today just under 80 cents with a huge drop. Wow, almost 30% today, dropping about 33 cents. She is a penny stock on the major exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. With it being on the major exchange, we have to take regard to the price being under $1. Whenever you're under $1 on a major exchange, you're in hot water. You stay down there for too long, major exchange will warn you, get your price over $1 or we're sending you back down to the OTC. So we're got to see if there's anything going on with that. Now, I'm pretty familiar with this company. Everybody thinks of Barnes & Noble as a book company, and this is a book company, but it's not the consumer book company where we all go buy our novels and our fiction. This is strictly for universities, colleges. This is educational materials. And to my surprise, when I came over here to share just a little information, I discovered that they do have their products digitally, helping students study and learn more effectively with digital direct-to-student products and services. I didn't know they did. I thought they strictly had physical products printed and bound, being sold in stores or being mailed. If they have digital products, this could end up changing their business. There's a lot of overhead, printing books, mailing books, stocking books. Digitally, there is none. They could make the same sort of money without any expense. So I was impressed to see that. Now, I did find some information to share with you here. We've got a piece of news that came out. We have a date here. This just came out. They didn't put the date on here. The company has proposed transactions which are subject to shareholder approval and other closing conditions. Let me back up here. Barnes & Noble Education announces milestone transactions to significantly strengthen the balance sheet and advance industry-leading services for the institution. BNED will receive $95 million of new capital through $50 million in equity investment and $45 million in fully backstopped equity rights offering led by Immersion Corporation. Now, I don't understand rights completely. Rights are a lot like warrants. Warrants are like coupons. They give you the right to buy a share really cheap 3 or 5 years down the road, where rights are a coupon to buy a share cheap now, sometime in the next 30 to 90 days. So they've got all this happening. This eliminates approximately $34 million of debt. All right, this is all good news, but they've got a problem and the company's scared right now. And I'm going to show you why they're scared. This proposed transaction, which are subject to shareholder approval and other closing conditions, will enable the company to substantially deleverage its balance sheet, continue to strategically invest in innovation, and operate from a position of strength. BNED will receive gross proceeds of $95 million of new equity, $50 million coming from immersion and 45 million for the fully backstopped equity rights. Now, here's the problem. They have 2 filings that just came out. These are coming out back to back. They're just not even breathing. Look how they've written this to catch your attention, like they're advertising. This is a filing. This is not a news press. We would like to speak to you regarding your vote at the important special meeting of stockholders to be held June 5th of 2024. Your board seeks your support for certain proposals related to our recently announced rights offering and proposed transactions related to the purchase agreement. If the core proposals are not approved, we expect that we will likely need to file for bankruptcy protection. They're going to file for bankruptcy if we vote no. Call it arm twisting if you want. They're being blatant with their facts. Then we had another one come out. It's the same thing. Urgent message to our stockholders. Please vote yes. Vote now. You can call up. You can do it by email. They're making it very easy for you to vote right now. So this is what's hanging in the balance right now. They've got money. The money is supposed to fix their financials and flip them, and it's all in our hands, the shareholders right now. So what was the relative volume around the company today? There's some excitement building up around it. We've got about 4 times their normal volume, 400% increase, jumping from 13 million to 56 million. What's her share structure like? That's not a bad share structure. We've only got 53 million outstanding. As far as I'm concerned, anything under 100 million is a decent float. I don't know what the float is, but if it's up to 53 million, I'm a happy camper. Now, they do tell us here, April 27th, it was 45 million. That may be the case. So we may have an idea what our float is. Market cap is about 60 million. Now, we were in discussion. There were some comments about it being 39 million, 35 million. Taylor looked it up. She came up with 40 million. I got 60 million here. Well, you know how you figure out the market cap. You take the outstanding share count and you multiply it times the price. Well, if the price was $1, well, with 53 million shares, we'd have 53 million market cap. But it's not $1. It's less than $1. So how can we possibly have a market cap of 60 million? My number's wrong. Do your math. And that's if this is the correct number. Maybe there was some change since the 27th I'm not aware of. But something's not right here. I see the price, and that is the way you figure it out. So whatever the market cap is, it looks like it would be closer to 40 million, somewhere around there. Financials for the company. What are they doing? Wow. Well, education is booming business. Revenues have been hanging around $1.5 billion. Wow. They did have a strong 2020, but ever since then, they've been averaging about 1.5 billion, bringing home roughly 350 million in profit. Let's check the quarterlies. It's all looking good. They're bouncing around, but then so is the educational sector. With all of the new education available online, you can do it cheaper. You can do it conveniently. You don't have to move to the city to go to that school. There's a lot of money being lost in the education world right now. And I would have thought this company was going to be hit hard. I probably said that in the last video. But if she's got digital products, she can just glide right on into the transition here. Take a look at our balance sheet. Well, we've got about 8 million in the bank. Total assets, they got 1.1 billion. Total liabilities, just over 1 billion. So just by the hair of our teeth, we got 97 million in stockholder equity, which isn't bad. Don't think we have any disclosures. I would have brought them up. Actually, you are going to want to take the time here, folks, and go through these. There's a lot of important disclosures here. All these SC 13Gs, 13Ds, every single one of them is a new investor coming into the company and becoming a partner. They buy so many shares, they actually own a percentage of the company. Some of them get voting rights. Well, that's a lot of interest I see right there. I see a lot of important filings in here. So just tab them, jump in, and just look at the black headline and see if it catches your interest. You may want to see what's going on. There's quite a lot of them here. All right. Now you know what's going on with BNED. If you're invested in them, go vote. Go help this company survive. You don't want them going bankrupt. That ain't going to help the price of your stock. I guarantee it. All right, Taylor, that's your cue, hon.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go over this real quick. We saw this, we looked at it on the 18th of April, and this was this day. That's what the arrow means. It doesn't mean anything else. So I had pointed out that we had this big giant drop between the 15th and the 16th, and I shaded it out and said that we would probably fill that gap. Well, it took between 4 and 5 weeks, and we did fill that, and we actually jumped way up here to about like $1.35 ish. So I'll just mark that there. Now we're back down to almost exactly where we ended the day on the 15th of April, right before the big drop. We're like right back there. So this was a really good time to get in this line, because we looked at it this day, and I don't look at it in between shows or anything. So it looks like this line here between, well, maybe I have, but I didn't mess with this particular chart. Like I didn't mess with the levels I had marked off.
We believe you. No accusation.
No, I really didn't. I mean, there's no reason for me to. So anyway, it did actually bottom out here at about 18 cents, and it looks like it was a really good support for that. I mean, it held that level really, really well, pretty much perfectly. And then it did fill this gap completely. So this is now, we don't need this anymore. So yeah, now we, I mean, some people count the wicks when it comes to gaps. Some people don't. I do. So it looks like we filled that gap and there is no more to fill. So let's look at maybe the hourly and see what has been going on. Okay. So
right on top of that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a beautiful landing. That's
yeah, it really is. So, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have not messed with this at all. I mean, I can't change the history of it anyway. So this is where the gap was marked off, and it has landed perfectly. So this almost perfectly. I mean, as perfect as it can get.
And
so we're on top of this now. Yeah, and it's, so this gap was the top of it's like 67 cents, and the 50 EMA is about 68, 69 cents. So it's very, very close, and we're right on top of that. So this is really an interesting spot right here, to see if we break this, but I don't think we will. I think we'll stay on top of this, but then again, now that I'm looking at this further, this could be, looks like head and shoulders ish pattern here.
Oh,
you can kind of see that it's either here or it could be here,
and
here,
if it starts
and
to break down, I think it'll come all the way back down to the bottom of that gap.
It could, yeah. Now that I'm looking at it more closely, let's look at the 15-minute, see if we can see that. Oh, there's several of them though. So you can see there's like
that doesn't look bad. I mean, she's really floating over that 200 nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is really nice here. Nice recovery here, and this candle right on top of this. I believe I'm still on regular candles, by the way. So anytime I can do regular candles versus Heikin-Ashi, I will choose to do that. So it looks like let's see, after hours action. It looks like we do have movement in after hours and pre-market, and then all day today it was pretty flat. I mean, compared to what was going on pre-market on Wednesday, or after hours Wednesday. Sorry.
She's in a good position for a climb, but she could surprise us. I've seen a couple stocks here that were perfectly set up and just dropped like that. A big gap just went right back down and started all over.
Yeah, so when we did fill that gap, we're kind of just right on top of it now. So we'll see if it can hold this, but I kind of see a little bit of head and shoulders action. I don't know if this is already played out and then that's the end of it. I can't really tell.
We got that vote on January 5th or June 5th. So there's going to be some tension building up in this stock. And on June 5th, maybe June 6th, we're going to get an answer. I would expect some volatility on that day, one way or the other, because it's a pivotal moment for this company.
Well, we have a comment here that says 200,000 shares were shorted today after hours. So that's but then we were talking up here a little bit ago when you were discussing it, that there could be a short squeeze coming if this does file for bankruptcy, or if there's another big catalyst, there could be a huge short squeeze, because this is a heavily shorted stock right now.
Yeah, something to consider. You know, there's a lot of stocks that have been shorted to death, and the market's been down for a very long time. When this market, and I'm feeling a little bit of heat, like the change of season. We're coming out of winter into summer. It's not warm yet, but I'm feeling the change. I think our market's changing, which means all of these stocks that have been down for so long are coming up together. You talk about short squeezes. We could see a whole orchard of short squeezes start coming into the picture as this market starts to come back.
And I mean, it's dropping as we're talking. It's dropping a little bit as we're even talking right now. So
yeah, she's at a point she definitely needs to be watched, but it's not a waste of time watching her. She's in a place and she's got stuff happening.
Yeah. Well,
all right, let's jump into that next one. This one's getting a lot of attention too, being talked about everywhere. This is G-Wave, Greenwave Technology Solutions, another penny stock on the major exchange. She finished the day at 8.8 cents. She's up just under 13% today. So what is this company about? Well, we'll read this, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. Greenwave Technology Solutions, through its wholly owned subsidiaries, Empire Services, is a leading operator of 13 now, metal recycling facilities in Virginia, North Carolina, and now in Ohio. Steel is one of the world's most recycled products, and that is the one they are primarily after, but they are now working into copper as well. Scrap is the new precious metal. And they tell us down here exactly what I was saying, updated to 13 metal recycling facilities, including Ohio. Now, this is where it got a little confusing to me. Read with me here. Further, we generated 1.2 million. First, they told us they generated 18 million here, ending June 30th, 2023. Same thing here. They generated an additional 1.2 million, ending June 30th, 2023. Well, what's up with this? Greenwave has generated tens of thousands of dollars every business day with profit margins exceeding 80%. Gotta love that. From metal recovered by downstream systems since it commenced operations July of 2023. Well, wait a minute. If you just started operations in July of 2023, how are you doing money up to June? So I don't know if they just came on the market. I don't know if there was a merger, a changeover. Something's wrong here, or there's a typo. I don't know what's going on, but we do get information here. The company's making revenues. They've expanded. They're into another state now. They're making tens of thousands of dollars a day with huge profit margins. So what else did I gather about this? Right. All right. We're going to pop in and out here, folks. Put on your running shoes. We have got a bunch of filings here that all came out in May. We don't have time to read each and every one of these, so we're going to do QDD. This is quick due diligence, folks. We just dive in and get the information we need without talking about it much. Joseph Rita here just got himself 40 million shares. He's a new owner. He's got 6.2% of the company. This 424B, they're about ready to put more shares on the market. About 420 million of them. 10Q, you know what that is? That's their most recent financial. We're not going to dive into that one. You do that on your own time. 8K, just looking at the headline, entry into material definitive agreement. We're interested in that. This is interesting. There was 1,000 shares of preferred stock that was converted into 200 million shares of common stock, and this investor has done that, which is part of the thing here. We are going to see in one of these other, no, not there yet. In one of these other filings, that was their late filing. They took care of that. This is an insider getting or releasing shares, but it is not a purchase. And I think it's this one right here that tells us. All right. They have up until September 30th of this year to get their price back up over $1. Now, what I wanted to say was those preferred shares, maybe it's in the news. They have converted all of their preferred shares into common shares. They have no more preferred shares. Greenwave eliminates all convertible debt. Final conversion of 18 million in convertible debt occurred today. This is May 22nd. That was yesterday. Greenwave eliminated an additional 17 million in debt held by the chairman. The company now has no convertible debt or preferred shares outstanding. Those were taken care of. Greenwave bolsters a balance sheet now of $22 million in cash. Greenwave expects to generate approximately $40 million in revenue in 2024. Well, how much did they make in 2023? 35. So they expect to be making an additional $5 million. And they have been growing at a very quick rate here from $6,000, don't forget those 3 zeros, to 8 million, to 33 million, 35, now 40. And they are bringing in profits along the way. Looks to be about 30 to 40%, somewhere around there. Now that's here. They say they've got 80% profit margins. I don't know how all those numbers play out. Looking at their quarterlies, they're doing between 8 and 9 million roughly and getting about 3 to 3.5 million every quarter. Balance sheet for the company. Not much money in the bank. I say not much. $713,000. I'll take it. Total assets, 45 million. Hey, liabilities are lower, 39 million. So we do have stockholder equity in this company of 5.6 million. Take a look at the relative volume today. Wow. Had the double peekaboo at that. She was not under the radar. She was doing 120 million shares a day for the last 30 days. And there could have been some very strong days in there, right? Today was a very strong day. 1.3 billion shares. That's a lot of extra attention, folks. That's 1,000% increase right there. But you can see she's over 1 billion shares. That in itself should catch your attention. Share structure. Well, that's not bad. Outstanding share count is only 44 million. What? All right. We can't trust these numbers. See the year 2022. These two numbers together, the restricted shares and the unrestricted shares should add up to that number. Obviously, they don't. So these are outdated. So we don't know what the float is. We just know it's not going to be over 44 million. And because they're on a major exchange where they have a minimum float requirement of 1 million, it won't be any lower than 1 million. So somewhere between there. Market cap, we're at about 3.4 million. Financials, are they making money? Oh, we've already been here. Duh. That's what happens when you go out for what you're normally doing. Very anal. All right, I do know where we're going next, to Taylor's neighborhood.
Oh, goody. I'm just kidding. So we looked at this on May, is this the right chart? Yeah, May 9th, which is right here. So that was what, 2 weeks ago or so, 3 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, sorry. So these shaded areas are the gaps. So this was a gap down. We're looking at regular candles daily chart, by the way. So this was.
If you ever see gaps, they ain't your Heikenashis.
Yeah, I'm just. I just want to. Yeah, I'm just letting everyone know.
Letting them know if they ever see a gap, that's not a Heikenashi because there's no bald spots. It's easy to follow the road with a Heikenashi.
There you go. So this was between March 18th and 19th. Had this gap down. And then we had some support here. I marked that off. And it was actually the start of this next gap down, which we have filled, by the way. We have filled this one, and we've probably got about 75% of this gap filled. So we only have just a little bit left, but we're pretty far away because we're even down here below this last support that was way up here. So since then, since the last time we looked at this, we kind of, well, there's another gap here, which has been filled, but that's okay. So we went all the way down to, it looks like 4 cents. Wow. Okay. So looks like around there, give or take. So this was last week on the 16th. We started jumping up, and we got all the way up to about 29 cents. On nearly 30 cents was the high. So after I do this, we'll go look at the 4 hours, see what's been going on. So since the last time we looked at it, we have had this action, a big climb starting at around like the 15th of May. So like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, what would that be? Yeah, about a week ago. So we started this climb. It peaked out on Friday, May 17th, and then we've come back down. This was a gap down because this is the 4 hours. So let's see what we got here. Doesn't look too much like a head and shoulders action, but we are seeing low, but actually here, I spoke too soon. I see a candle pattern. Does anyone else see this?
Oh, yeah, cup and handle.
Yeah, looks like a cup and handle on the 4-hour to me anyway. We can draw that out. Kind of looks like it to me. So it would be up from here. So we have filled this gap, so we can take that one away. But this next one is the one that we still have a little bit more to go. We have until about 33 cents to go. We'll go ahead and mark that off. Let's look at the 1 hour. This looks so funky. So the 1 hour starts to get a little weird. So let's just look at the Heikinashis to make it a little easier. So yeah, I'm seeing this cup and handle actually play out. I mean, we even have a green candle right here, so on the Heikinashis. So we could go ahead and come back up here. This looks like it was a resistance almost on the 1 hour. So this where this gap had started, it was old support. Now it's new resistance right here on the 1 hour. But it does look like a really nice cup and handle starting to me anyway.
And it will be bouncing right now, because the handle don't come all the way down to the bottom of the cup. I was saying it should bounce now because your handle doesn't come all the way back down to the bottom of the cup. So it's got to be a handle. And that is a perfect handle right there. And it's got our first green bar.
Yeah, and exactly. And also this is the 200. So we did a really nice bounce off of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then look at that right there. And right here it started, and then this was like it's new, and here almost like perfectly bounced off of this right there on this wick. So we have a really good almost as good support here right there at the 200, and we have a green candle coming back up this way. So this could be the start of the upwards movement. After
your oscillators look strong too.
Yeah, they're looking better. Yeah, this one especially.
Yep.
This one's coming back. These are coming back. This one's
curling. I don't know what they are, but most oscillators, if they're pointing up, are in good shape.
Right.
So I saw them pointing up, so I figured, oh, those look good.
This one's MACD at the top.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. So that's about it for that one. I would say this is a really good one to watch. It's at a really interesting spot right now. So
yeah,
I like where it is.
From the Wizard, stock watch worthy.
Yeah.
Next one we're going to take a look at is, how do you pronounce that? SOHM, I guess, SOHM, SOHM Inc. This is SHMN. I'm going to call it SHMN. SHMN is on the OTC market. She's on the bottom tier, pink. She's got that validated information at least, so she's looking good. Excellent buy price if she's climbing. She's at 001, hit 002 in a short hurry. You made yourself double your money just that quick. She took a fall today to get to this point. She dropped about 16.5%. So they tell us here that this is a generic pharmaceutical manufacturer. And I remember talking about this before. But as I was looking around, this seems to be something they do, but it doesn't seem to be their main focus anymore. Seems like they are moving out into becoming an active biotechnology company. A while ago, they introduced a whole suite of chewable vitamins and melatonin and all that sort of stuff. They do have some drugs on the market that are generic, and they just increased their manufacturing facility in Carlsbad. But all the recent news here is about their Abby genome editing kits, which is about ready to hit the market. Now, I don't think this is for me and you. I don't think this is the kind of product it is. They tell us here the company is proud to announce its ongoing work on Abby. That stands for a binding-based integrase enzyme. This groundbreaking technology has the potential to revolutionize genome editing by allowing for precise and targeted integration of pre-designed donor DNA into the genome cells. I'll try to break this down. I'm no scientist, folks, but this is the way I've understood it. There's a lot of science right now with a lot of medical sector companies with genomes. Genomes have been found to be, how can I explain this? They are taxis that will go where you want them to go, and they can carry passengers. So they can put stuff onto these genomes, and they will go into DNA, and they can bring in changes to the DNA to fix diseases. The impact of Abby on genome editing cannot be overstated. by providing researchers with a powerful tool for targeted integration of foreign DNA. ABBY has the potential to revolutionize the field of genetic engineering and open up new possibilities for the treatment of genetic diseases. These are allowed to get by where there's guards. There's so many ways we are trying to deliver packages, new cells, drugs, and we can't get them to where we want. Delivery is the problem. Genomes are perfect delivery agents. The revolutionary new ABBY system is due to be sold as off-the-shelf kits in Q3. For who? Not me and you. We don't need that sort of stuff. The company anticipates very high volume in revenues from its first generation ABBY kits. There is an expected volume of thousands of kits sold, licensings, and millions in revenue. There's the key point right there. So was there any other information? Nope. That's what I had to share with you. So let's go see what the relative volume was around the company today. Yeah, we had an increase of maybe 20%, jumping from 1.6 million to just over 2 million today. Share structure for the company, a little higher than I like. 1.6 billion outstanding. Insiders got themselves a pretty decent chunk. They got 330 million shares. We got a much bigger chunk, 1.2 billion shares. Now, I just put this warning out there because we've been seeing it often enough that it should be stated. When these companies start approaching a penny, when they've had a lot of good days, a lot of attention, the stock seems to be growing, that is when they do public offerings. That is when they do reverse stock splits. So keep your mind open on that. They got a lot of shares here. They could easily do a reverse stock split. And that doesn't mean they're going to tell you about it. If you're interested in this company and worried about a stock split, you could just go to Google, put in the company's name, and put in the word split or consolidation. That's the tricky word. And it might come up there. If not, you're going to have to go through every 6K or 8K. If they have them, being a pink, you may not have it. What you're looking for is a shareholder meeting where they may have voted to approve a stock split 10 months ago at management's discretion anytime in the next 12 months. And now it just happens to be the time that they use it, and they don't have to tell you they're going to use it. It's at their discretion. Let's see what else we got here then. Financials. What are we looking at? They're making money, but I wouldn't get excited about it. Between 200 and 400,000 a year. And they're bringing home more than half of that in profit. Quarterlies, they're all over the place. I mean, literally all over the place. And the last one was not good at all. The last one shouldn't be the last one. These are quarterly reports. We should have had another quarterly report by now. They are late on this unless it's already out. Let's see here. It is already out. I would have thought I had this open. Well, look at that. I think I did, and it got closed by accident. There's their revenues, folks. The last quarter, they made 89. Are there any zeros on this? No, $89,000. I think that's what we're looking at here. 89,000. What did their other ones look? Yep. So the last quarter, they went from $19,000 up to $89,000. They're coming back, but I mean, still, that's not anything to get excited about. Money in the bank, they got about 96,000. Not a lot of assets, 1.5 million. More liabilities, 1.8 million right there. Whoa. Well, we've got some other numbers that came into play here. I don't know where, I don't know how, but we are looking at positive stockholder equity. We were down about 300,000. We're actually up 3.5 million. Surprise, a bonus for us. We like that. Wow, really? 3.5 million. And we've got no filings over here to consider. And since we're looking here, folks, I want to refresh this page. We're looking at the information up here for the OTC market. Before COVID, we were doing 60 to 70 billion shares. Today, we did 4.8 billion shares for 12,300 companies. That's all the shares we did. Total money, $2.2 billion. That's ridiculously low, folks. Total trades, 291,000. Egads. All right, let's move on to Taylor's neck of the woods. Charting time. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. I had the wrong one loaded. Okay, so here we are. We looked at this a couple months ago, on the 14th of March here and on the 28th of March here. And as you can see, we have kind of reached this. This kind of was a little bit of a resistance, but we broke through it. But then we came right back down, and now it is. And we are now, this was 001. We even came down below that, all the way down to like 008 or 9. Not real sure exactly, but now we're above that. So we're just above that. And it wasn't very good. So it looks like we were really barcodey. These were already there. I added this line here. So this is the daily chart, Heikin-Ashi candles. Let's go to the 4 hour. We'll see what's been going on. Yeah, it looks like we're just now coming up above that 001 area. So, I mean, even below that, it was like 0009, maybe even 0008.
That
So,
shows some optimism.
yeah, we finally got above that again. So that's good. But we have like a lot of resistance support areas to come above. So, like when I was pointing out this area, I don't know if we did cross that, but then we came back down. And we broke through, and we broke through the 0014. Then, okay, so then the next one was 0012. We broke through that one and even broke through the 001. So that's not good. So it looks like the next resistance is going to be.
She was falling hard before those strong SMAs even started turning. And now that you got the 200,
yeah, it was. It really was.
I think she's going to, I mean, she looks optimistic, but I feel she's still going to come down some more. I hate to say that.
Kind of looks like we are curling up into another one. Yep, exactly what I'm thinking. It looks like it. It could be.
I would like that.
This could play out.
Go up.
I mean, this is the 1 hour, so it looks like it could be the start of one. I mean, we're on the downward part now. We can see if we can push back up. We really need to push up above this and hold above the 0012, in my opinion, because this was a good support, and now it's a resistance. So I would watch that level personally. But I mean, if you look at the 1 hour, it kind of looks like it played out a little bit of a head and shoulders. Now we fell all the way down here. Now we could be on our way back up, because we have not seen below 001 since like October. Okay, so it's been a while. And we just got through seeing that last week at the end of, like, for the past week, it was below this 001. So that's not a good sign, in my opinion.
No, it really doesn't look that strong to me. She was over the 200 a long time. So to finally break under it, and all those strong SMAs haven't even crossed the 200 yet. They're still coming through. I'm not optimistic. It could just go sideways, but I don't think it's ready to climb yet. Just my opinion. What do I know? I don't even know when it's going to rain.
Me neither. I mean, what do I know?
What's the short chart look like for a day trader? 5 minutes.
Sure. 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So here's.
Because we did have some green bars there.
Oops. Okay. So here's the 5 minute. So until we went below this, now we're above here. So
she's trying to break out over that 50, which has been on a strong downtrend, but she's really paying more heed to that support you got.
Yeah. So this is really important that it stays above the 001. We really need to go above the 0012. So when you get down to the really low time frames, like probably below 15 minutes, this is going to look really, really barcodey and kind of odd. Some of these candles,
but then I'm used to looking at these charts every day.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough. Yeah, because I'm really not. These candles look a little strange to me. But we can even see
come over to our neck of the woods more often.
I mean, I'm getting used to it. I chart them all the time.
I know it takes a while to get used to the smell, but it's not as bad as you think.
Yeah, so this is one just to watch and see if we can break above 0012 and hold above that. That's the next level that I'd be interested the most.
Yeah, it's worthy of watching. She does look like she's on a downtrend, though, so I'm anticipating her to keep falling, but she's worthy of watching. Yeah. Jumping on to the next one. This is QEDN. We have covered this before. I don't know when. This is QED Connect. Finished today. Cheap price, 0008, dropped a lot today, 27%. She's on the bottom tier, the pink. She's got that validated information, so she's as good as she's going to get. Now, what is this company about? Well, you know what? We could dive around and get a lot of information, but this description actually gives us everything we actually need. GMS Green Mine Solutions, a Colombian company, started to work with farmers in Colombia in 2013 to develop an alternative crop to the illegal crops making cocaine, the coca leaves. They started growing Sacha Inchi, a super rich food, which is rich in omega-3, 6, and 9, has complete vegan protein, and has all 9 essential amino acids. And just so you know, hemp has the same thing. The seeds are transformed into a tasty snack, a powder, and a beverage. In 2020, GMS started to develop the Sachi Inchi beverage. The company markets all of its products to private labels and its registered brands GM Sachi Inchi in Colombia and worldwide. In October of 2023, which just passed, GM Sachi Inchi signed an agreement with a country to purchase all of its production and guarantee enough Sachi Inchi to produce GM Sachi Inchi products in association with 700 families in Putumayo that received $5.7 million from South Korea. South Korea is subsidizing this industry, and this company made a deal to get 100% of all of their Sachi. GMS has also 2 more projects with Colombia. Sustainable project financed by the Colombian government. Now, these are their products. They have these little crunchy things that they dry out and you can eat. They got powder that you can add to your other foods. They've got drinks. Now, there is lots of news here. We could go through all of this, but you know what? We got lucky. I dove into their most recent financial, and right in this spread right here, all of that news is covered. Woohoo! So this is what they tell us. In March of 2015, the company signed a share purchase agreement to acquire the shares of Green M&A Solutions, a private U.S. company that has 100% ownership of Green Mine Solutions, a Colombian company with active gold mining operations. So this company does have active gold mines. GMS, and there was just a little while ago, I remember reading it here, right there, Green Mine Solutions has entered into a letter of intent for 2 more mines. So they're not just in the gold mines, they've got other mines as well. Now this is real interesting. GMS just finished a beverage in Tetra Pak. You know, Tetra Paks are smaller packs that all come together. Well, they've been talking to Nestle. Yes, Nestle chocolate bars and all the products that they make. And they've been working with them for a while. Well, Nestle has stated that they are reviewing the products of GM Sachi Inchi, and if the products are approved, a formal business case will be open to start a possible negotiation with GM Sachi Inchi. QED Connect and GMS Green Mine Solutions submitted the due diligence proposal to Nestle June 14, 2023. And we're waiting for a response for that. QED Connect acquired 50% of Foodie TV assets. Foodie TV is an over-the-top channel available on various platforms, including Apple TV, Roku, Android app, iTunes, Amazon Fire Stick. The channel features engaging cooking segments that revolve around food. The final acquisition was finished on May 13th, 2024, folks. That just happened, right? QED Connect signed a letter of intent to acquire 100% American Film Partners and 100% of Trillium, a Canadian company that will develop content for GM Sachi Inchi food section and wants to build a state-of-the-art film studio in Medellin and possibly one in Canada for films, movies, TV series, food shows, and record studios. So they're not just into this GM Inchi Sachi stuff. They're getting into a lot of other things as well. Mines, these TV channels, movies. So they're doing quite a lot. What was the relative volume around this company? Boom! That exploded today. Over 1,000% increase in her volume, closer to 1,400, going from 22 million shares a day, which is not under the radar, to 263 million shares. Looking at the share structure, oh, that hurt. 3.2 billion shares outstanding. Insiders do have about 3/4 billion. Thank you very much. We get the rest, 2.5 billion. And of all those shares, market cap is only 3.6 million. Financials for the company, well, they're making money and it's growing at a quick rate. They're not huge numbers, but it's picking up fast. 2022, they were just getting the ball rolling. They made 333,000. At the end of 2023, they did 4 times that much. 400% increase, 1.2, 1.3 million. And they're bringing home about 30% of that in profit. Quarterlies, what's going on there? Well, they were doing something. They were growing, and then we got nothing for the last quarter of 2023. Do we have a financial over here? Yeah, we got one right here. We've got the annual and we've got the quarterly. I wonder what I did bring it up. That's why I was into it. I was looking for the numbers and I got stuck with all that information. So all we got to do is go down to the numbers and let's see what we got here. Net loss, revenue. For the year ended March 31st, 2024, we are at, and I don't believe there's any zeros on that. No. So, well, they were at 25,000 last year. We're at 11,000 this year. For all their hard efforts, it's not accumulating to much right now. Let's see here. Let's check out their balance sheet.
So May 13th was the last time that we saw some kind of news.
I'm going to check the news here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I actually jumped into it because I was just thinking about that. So I'm glad you brought that up and didn't let me forget. Cash in the bank, not much, $10,000. Total assets, 1.6 million. Liabilities are under $1 million, 830,000. So we do have positive stockholder equity in the company of $788,000. Now let's see. Now we had lots of news. We did kind of look at it. We just didn't go through it. What did you say, May 13th?
No, I was asking if that was the last day. What about May 20th?
Let me
that was
see.
just a couple days ago. It was
May
just this past
13th,
Monday.
we had news about Foodie TV. On May 23rd, we had the QED Connect getting the film company. No, I don't see anything there. Let's see. We got another Energy Today listed on the OTC market. I don't know what this is. This must be a subsidiary of theirs. Here's some news here, but that's all the way back in March. But no, I don't see anything. But like you were asking if there was any news after the 20th. Yes, they just made a deal with QED Connect getting that film company. So that's basically everything that's going on here. Why she fell, I don't know. This is good news. Maybe people can't put the dots together. You're supposed to be dealing with this super rich food and you're getting into films and movies. Maybe people just don't get it. I don't get it. Let's take a look at the chart for QEDN.
Okay, get to it. Okay, so I was asking because you can see this big spike in volume that was on the 20th of May. So that was just on Monday. So
Right.
we had looked at this before, but I don't have the date. I don't know because all the yellow ones I had already marked off. So we have like the strong support at the very, very bottom at 0003. Then we have this one at 0006. And then I put the 0008. And then this is 001 and then a high of 0015. So this is the daily chart here. Can go down to the 4-hour. So
Ooh, what a drop.
yeah, so on Monday is when we had that big, jump. We had another, like this was both on Monday and Tuesday. I mean, we topped out here at 0015, and then we have just been kind of falling. This is the 4-hour, so we're still. I don't actually. No, it doesn't have after hours. I don't think. This is just. This is during the day. This is pre-market. So. Let's see, the 1 hour. It might be a little more. Okay, here we go. So it looks like Mondays when we jumped up and had that big spike in volume, we topped out Monday and Tuesday at that 0015 level. We came back down to all the way down to 0006. So that's more than a 50% drop since
It
we
just came
topped
right
out.
back to where it started from. It was just,
Yeah, it came right back to where, yeah, exactly. So,
yeah,
I mean, these yellow lines were already drawn.
I
These
mean,
were like
right there.
resistance. Yeah, and I think I marked this one off because I know that you really love that 001 area. And you know, we surpassed that all the way up to 0015 and then came back down
He
to
is
right where it
bouncing,
started.
but I mean, I don't know. A surge and a drop, and she's right back to where she started from. And you can see she's been going sideways for a long time until then.
Yes, yes, it
So
had. That's why I had marked these levels off. And it's really, you know, there was real barcodey there for a while until just now when we had these bigger, you can see that, I mean, based on the size of the candles alone, will tell
yeah,
you that we've had some actual like real movement.
yeah, but she
The only
came
thing that kind
back.
of worries me is I see this looks like almost like an inverse cup and handle pattern.
Oh,
Can you see that?
yeah, that's going to put her way deeper if that be the case. And
Yeah, I
God,
mean, it looks like it. I'm not saying that it is,
yeah,
but
I don't foresee her going deeper. You know, you never know, but
yeah.
just doesn't, because of her history, she doesn't look like she wants to go deeper. But with an inverse cup and handle, she could surprise the heck out of us. All right, what's the
Yeah.
5 minute look like on that bad boy?
5 minutes? Sure.
Day
What is it?
trader's dream? Yeah.
So,
Ah,
the
she's
dream.
she's
Looks like it's
something to
rolling
watch.
up in the 5 minute.
I mean, she's showing some activity, but there's a lot of resistances and supports and strong SMAs, a lot to keep her down. She would really have to
Yeah.
push hard.
Yeah, this you know, your 200 is all the way up here, way far away. I mean, we're like
50 is
almost,
about to tap her right in the head.
yeah. Yeah.
She's
I mean,
worthy of watching. She could surprise us either way. I honestly can't tell what this chart's going to do. That
yeah,
one,
it looked like, now see, this one looks like it's curling up on this really short time frame, but I don't really trust the short time frames as much as I do like at least the 1 hour. Because this is not looking very good. This is a big nosedive all the way back to the beginning. But then when you look at the 5 minute, it almost looks like, oh, it's showing signs of life. So you need to make sure you look at these from like all
yeah,
different
look at
perspectives.
all of them and
Yeah.
blend them
Absolutely.
together in your mind and come up with an
Yes.
overall. Yeah, overall looks good. I don't like it overall.
Right. Right. So that's what we got going on with that one.
All right, we are at 507. We got 3 stocks left. This one isn't going to take too long to talk about, to be honest. I own DPLS, Dark Pulse Inc. I got into this a while ago when she was acting righteous. She isn't acting righteous right now. She's got technology. She's got business. I don't know why she's in this shape right now. DPLS finished today at 0043. She was up today, just a little over 16%. She is pink limited. That is pink tier, but it means that she's late on one or more of her financials. If you don't get those financials caught up in time, they just yank you off the OTC and throw you down to the expert market. Not a delisting, but you can't have your shares bought or sold for the most part while you're down there. And you stay there until you get your financials caught up. Once you do, you come back onto the OTC market. And if you're invested in the company, you're in a hold too. If you're in them, go to the expert. You can't do anything with your shares until they come out for the most part. So we're going to have to dive into that. Delinquent sec reporting is connected with that. They've got their verified information. That looks good. So what does DPLS do? Now, this is going to be tough, folks. They've got some real interesting technology using lasers, and even they have a hard time explaining it. I looked around OTC, through the news, through their website, trying to find a nice, concise paragraph to tell us what they do. Yeah, right. This was the best one I could come up with. Dark Pulse Inc. uses advanced laser-based monitoring systems to provide rapid and accurate monitoring of temperatures, strains, and stresses. They use these lasers and they can measure heat like maybe an equipment or pipes. They can see if it's getting too hot or too cold. They can see cracks and stress marks in bridges, tunnels, buildings, stuff that you can't see with the naked eye. The company's technology excels when applied to live, dynamic, critical infrastructure and structural monitoring, including pipeline monitoring, perimeter and structural surveillance, aircraft structural components. I could see it being important there, and mining safety. The company's fiber-based monitoring systems can assist markets that are not currently being served, and its unique technology covers extended areas and any event that is translated into the detection of a change in a strain of temperature or strain. That's it. That's the best I can tell you. I was even trying to find pictures, but they don't have pictures. They got a blue laser. They got a blue laser picture, but that's all I can really show you, folks. So let's take a look at the problems of this company. She's late. This is one of the biggest problems with her. She is late on her financials. Now, this is interesting. She is a pink. Pinks don't normally have 10Qs, 10Ks. They have disclosures. What's the difference? A disclosure didn't have an auditor look at it. No CPA. They just give you numbers, the management. Here's our receipts added up. That's how much money we made. No expenses. They just throw you numbers. Well, these are actually audited. So that's a good thing. They've got the validated information up here, and we've got validated numbers. So they are late filing their annual report right here. They filed this on the 1st. Well, that only buys you 15 days. Putting this in gives you 15 more days. Well, that was the 16th. They're late. Well, here's their last one. This was for September of last year. They filed in November. Well, where's the quarterly report for December? This is the annual report. Where's the quarterly? We're missing that one too. So we've got 2 of them here we're missing, and they filed a late notice and they didn't make it. So they're in trouble right now with that. Outside of that, I don't see any other problems here, but if they don't get it taken care of in a hurry, now we don't know when they're going to be throwing off the OTC until we see grace period. It will be in yellow, like a yellow light. Red is bad, green is good, a yellow is a warning. It will be yellow, say grace period here. Come over here to quote right there. They'll give you a date. Right up under proprietary quote eligibility, underneath here, it'll say grace period, and it'll give you the actual date of the last day that the company will be on the market, unless they get those financials in. I don't know when that date will come. Just wait for grace period. Hopefully they get in before then. All right, so what was the relative volume around the company today? She's bouncing. Wow. Lots of increase in volume, going from about 19 million to 103 million today. Share structure for DPLS is ridiculous. God dang. 8 billion shares. This is why I'm not averaging down, folks. I know she's super low, but this scares the heck out of me. I've been through 63, 64 reverse stock splits, which have literally, I'm not lying here, folks, literally taken over $40,000 from me. Just the reverse stock splits. And they were already down when they went into them. So
That
now
is
my
wild.
Yeah. And the only way you can get your money back is to pour more money in or wait for them to catch up to you. Like Mullen, I averaged down Mullen when she did a reverse split. Then she did another one. Well, I averaged down again. Then she did another one. Well, now my shares, my average is $111 a share. And they're at $5 or $6 right now. I'm a penny stock buyer. I don't buy stocks at $6, $7, $8, $10. And that's what I got to spend if I want to average down. So it's really scary. I have not averaged this down because I don't want to go through another reverse stock split and just lose my freaking money. Restricted shares, well, they got about 500 million of them. We get all the rest, 7.5 billion. Market cap with all those shares, they got $29 million in their market cap. Woohoo! Financials for DPLS. Well, isn't that strange? 2021, they did $7.7 million and got to make $1 million in profit. Kicked their revenues up and they're losing money hand over fist. They're now down $5.5 million. What? I am really confused. Quarterly reports all over the place. They're up and down, really down right now. The last one was in September. They're late. We have no idea what's going on right now. They were only at $82,000 in September. But looky here, when they were making good money, 1.4 million, 1.5, they were losing most of the time. Here, we only had to spend $3,000 to keep all that money. Whoop-de-doo. Balance sheet for the company. In the bank, not much, 64,000. Total assets here, about 6.6 million. Total liabilities, egads, 23 million. So we've got $16.5 million that we are holding for the company. The price here is just too high. You know, if you take the stockholder equity and divide it by the shares, you get an asset value for the stock. It's a close valuation. Well, when you have a negative stockholder equity, you have a negative stock price. So that's too high. That's why I'm not averaging down right now. Let's see. I don't think there was anything else over here. Disclosures. We went there. I love disclosures. When it comes to pinks, I pay little heed to press releases and other things. Filings are what it's all about. We've been here, right? Yeah. Okay. So I think we need to look at the chart now. That's probably the only nice thing going on with DPLS.
Okay. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. So
yeah,
DPLS.
look at that. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, I know.
Pretty.
The last time we looked at this was in January, so it's been what, 5 months, 4 months?
Wow.
Look
Yeah.
at this.
And she ain't done crap since we looked at her.
Yeah, so I marked off, these were already marked off, but I kind of highlighted like this is your favorite 001. When we looked at it, it was like just above this 0012. It had topped out several times, like even like the end of last year, at this 0022. So it just kind of sat there for months and months and months under like this. Even the high was like 0013, and it just, just sat there until last week. I mean, this is wild. This is the daily chart. This was what, 6 days in a row of higher highs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 0053. So that's at least 500% right there. That is a wild run.
And just for the record, there was not one filing, not one piece of news for months.
Yeah,
we haven't had anything.
This 4-hour chart. This is insanity.
Wow.
My gosh.
That's
dripping
juice. That is looking sweet. I mean, I'm scared now because that's too good.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this has just been straight up. That's why I don't understand. And the volume has really kept up with it. Even today we had the same.
Oh, the volume has been crazy the last few days.
And then this was in pre-market hours, by the way, but this was when it topped out. It was just today at this 0053, but that doesn't mean that it can't keep going.
Taylor told you that was pre-market. This is an OTC stock. We cannot trade it. People trading pre-market are marketers and brokers. And rarely do they like to push a stock up. They like to pull it down. I don't know why. But when you see it run in pre-market, that tells you something about the OTC stock. People behind the scenes are pushing it up.
Yeah, all of these in the brown shaded areas are going to be pre-market. The black.
Yeah, if you go down to the 5 minute, we can see exactly what went on in those pre-market after markets.
It doesn't like to show too much.
No, not on your charts, does it?
No.
Look at how thin that is.
It'll show like a little bit, but it won't show. It'll show just like.
That's a beautiful chart. Look at
this is a 5 minute, but let me look at the 1 hour first before we get too excited. Oh my gosh, look at the 1 hour here. So we do have movement in the pre-market. Yeah, you can see it here, but for some reason it doesn't show. But this might be just one, like.
Yeah, we're not worried about that because we can't do anything with it anyways.
Yeah, so I mean, we have just been, running.
Ripping.
And it looks really nice because it'll run and then pull back a tiny bit, run, pull back a tiny bit, run, pull back a tiny bit. So I mean, when is this going to stop, right? I mean,
this could just be coming back to bounce off that 20 and start all over. Though I don't know why it would do that. I don't see a reason for it to do that. She hasn't got any stockholder value. There's no sunshine on the horizon. She looks like she's going to be pulled off the OTC. So, as a day trader, take your gains. Don't be thinking this is going to go on forever. If you got some gains, sell something.
Yeah, please. I mean, oh my gosh. Even on the 1 hour chart, this 9 EMA, it has followed almost perfectly
Yeah.
since like the 16th, actually even before that, like the 15th of May, even on the 1 hour on a
How's the
smaller time frame,
15?
not just the daily. We're
How's the
talking like
15
1
look?
hour. Huh?
How's the 15 look?
Yeah, we'll go
As day traders, we really need to see those shorter terms.
yeah. But I like to
Because
start with
tomorrow, the 1 year chart isn't going to help me. I want to see where it's going next week, but I want to know where it's going tomorrow.
Oh,
And this
here we go.
thing,
Here's what it's gonna do tomorrow. This is the 15. So there, it does highlight like a little bit of some of the pre-market and the after hours, but this is basically what's going on. We're just higher highs, higher highs, higher
she
highs.
hasn't got any patterns there. It's not like she bursts first thing in the morning. Sometimes she dips, sometimes she climbs, but
No.
she is respecting that 50-day SMA nicely.
Oh yeah, really nicely, almost too good.
And now she's testing it.
Yeah, we're testing it right now. That I mean, this has just been going up. Like we have higher highs and higher lows. Even these red candles here. I mean, I don't know how much longer this could go on before we really have a pullback, but it does
It's
look like it's
definitely
cooling
worth
off a
watching.
little.
She's acting very peculiar. She's doing
Yeah.
things we can't second guess. So I wouldn't second guess what she's going to do now. I would
I'm
just put it
wondering
on
if
her watch
someone
list.
on the inside doesn't know something because this is like such a heavy run. I mean, we're talking 500% gains. So,
Yeah, we like those gains.
yeah,
We
we'll just
like
move
those.
on.
All right, we've got two more to go here. Where we at 521. This is PYPD, Powerdyne International. She is 2 on the pink tier. We've only got one piece of validated information here, the transfer agent. She finished today at 0023. She was up today about 6.5%. So what does this company do? Boy, I gotta. All right, I remember this company. All right, we don't need to read this. The company's got 2 subsidiaries. One of them works with picture frames, and they've only got one store, and it is on 45th Main Street in North Reading, where their home office is. So they've got this frame. It may even be the same office. They may have the frame store at the office of their other subsidiary, which I'm sure they have a factory for, CM Technology. This company makes motors, just like you see here. And you think, wow, those are kind of old-fashioned. No, these motors have been being used for 100 years, and they will continue to be used. Robots, anything that moves, pivots, these are what they use. Every single arm, every joint, every finger are going to have these from big to itty-bitty small ones. And that's what the company is working on now. They're working on getting contracts with robots for their motors, which is going to just blow their business up when it starts to take off. Now, I didn't find any catalyst to talk about. Let's see if there's any news over here. Ta-da, there's nothing here. Looking at her disclosures, we've got a recent financial. They were late. They had 5 days to get it in. They got it in time. And that's pretty much what we got going on here, is mostly financials with a couple 8Ks in there. Let's just poke into this one. It's about a month old. They got a new accountant, which, it doesn't sound like interesting stuff, but it is important. Right now, there's a lot going on with accountants. A lot of them are being busted for fraud. A big accounting agency just got busted last week with 1,500 fraud filings involving 300 public companies. So now there's a lot of companies that are having their jots and tittles looked at, and they're getting new accountants just to make sure everything's kosher. So what was the relative volume around the company now that we've got no real catalyst going on? Well, she's increasing her volume nonetheless, jumping from 8.1 million to 11.2 million. Share structure for PYPD. God, what's with all these humongous shares? Oh, come back here. Yeah, you scared me. 1.8 billion. Insiders got 3/4 billion. We get the rest, 1.1 billion. All those shares qualify them for a market cap of 4 million. Financials for PYPD. They making any money? Yeah, they are. And it's increasing nicely, right? Over the last 4 years, $3, $3,000, 48,000, 1.2 million. What a jump that was. And then 1.4 million. And they're making profit, steady profit, not huge profit, but it's regular. Quarterlies, Well, they're doing regular business, right? Between $2.5 to $400,000 every quarter. It's the profit margins that are bouncing around. They're going all over the place, and I don't know why that should change. Balance sheet for the company. Not a lot of money in the bank, about $84,000. Not a lot of money in assets, $232,000 for the whole company. Not a lot of liabilities either. It is more though, 306. So we are actually holding stockholder deficit with this company of 74,000. But these are all really low numbers. The revenues are low, the profits are low, assets, liabilities, everything is just really low. Okay, what else we got here? I think we covered everything here. Disclosures, yeah, we've been here. So that's about all I got to share with you. Maybe the chart tells us more than I did.
Okay, sorry about that. I was muted for a second. Okay, so we looked at this twice about 2 months ago, once on the 14th and once on the 21st of March. So since then, I had these lines already drawn out. I'm not, it had to do with what was happening back here, like last year. So this has only been around on this, like this chart only shows any data starting March 1st of 2023. So it has not been around a long time. That's why this 200 is real short. We don't have like tons and tons of data. But that's okay. This is the daily chart. So here's what happened after that. We just kind of like poked through this line here that was a resistance, but we came right back down and pretty much settled into, for the most part, support here on this 0013, which was determined from back here, and it did respect it pretty much, and then now it's curling right back up. So it looks like could be another cup and handle, but we're right at like the high of when we reached it on the 26th of March, which was right after the time that we looked at it last time. So like 26 to 0027, give or take. So it was right here. So we reached that high and now we're back down underneath here, but we really need to get above this 0024. This was already drawn. I just now put that one on. But yeah, so this is what's been going on. So the EMA's kind of crossed over.
It's actually looking good. It looks like it wants to continue.
Yeah, they crossed under and now they're crossing back under. So these are all lined up perfectly. 9.
But at the same
no, just kidding. These are backwards. So the 21 needs to come up here. 50 needs to come down here.
This could be an M. We could have a double tap here, and she could just come falling right back down.
Yeah, could. This could be absolutely could be a double top.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that'd be the first thing I'd be watching for, because
absolutely could be a double top. Yeah, so we can drop down to the 1 hour and see. But now if you look down at the 1 hour, it looks like we have a reversal, because you can see we're hitting these, we're hitting this resistance, and we're or support now, and then we're coming back up. But we're not holding above this 0024 level. But as you can see, this is pretty interesting how we go into this. We went from this 0013 all the way up to 0027. That's 100% right there, just in less than a month. Oh, and it's done that twice. Did it here too.
And it's looking good right now, but she's at that critical breakthrough point. Right. And like I said, that double top, that looks a little suspicious to me.
Yeah, when you look at the larger time frame, there's going to be a double top. I did see, that's a good point. But so here
again, we got to look at all the charts and weigh it up.
Yeah. Look at all the time frames, because on the 1 hour, it's like, oh, it looks like it's showing signs of life and good support here. We just really need to break through and hold that 0024, and then I'd feel a lot better about this one. But other than that, it's pretty much it for this.
We got one more stock to look at, and we are out of here, folks. I appreciate your patience sticking with us all this time. And if you didn't, we'll come back later and you can watch the recording. So we are now looking at the last stock, ticker YYAI, Connexa Sports Technologies. I get the feeling we covered this again before. I know I made a video on it if you want to check that out, if you want to get information. YYAI, this is Connexa Sports Technologies. She's on the major exchange, the NASDAQ. She finished today at just under 74 cents and dropped a little bit, just under 2% today. Now, what's going on with this company is she is in the midst of a merger, a change of control, to be completely honest. It's not just a merger. Let's dive into the piece of news here that, let me see, is it this one? Yeah, we'll start here. Connexa shareholders approved transaction to acquire Wanu Enterprise Management. A change of control and a spin-off of Slinger Bag also received shareholder consent. The close of these transactions remains subject to NASDAQ's approval. On the close of this transaction, Mr. Zhu will effect and Connexa will accept a change of control of Connexa, with all Slinger Bag assets and liabilities being divested to a privately held company. Connexa is the company that's been working with tennis and pickleball. You know, it's kind of like smaller rackets on the tennis court. They've been working with that. That's been their business. Well, they had to sell all of that before they could make this deal. Well, it says up here that it's a spin off. Well, maybe a spin off is different than a spin out. Spin out onto the major exchange, spin off the major exchange, because they say here it's being divested to a privately held company. So there ain't nothing going on there that we need to be concerned with. The other piece of news breaks this all down a little bit more for us. Connexa announces entry into an agreement to acquire 70% stake in Wanu Enterprise. Hong Kong-based operating matchmaking services. This is a dating app, if you will, in emerging love and marriage sector. Did you see that anywhere out there on any site? Is there a love and marriage sector that I'm unaware of?
I'm not sure.
Right. This would be the only one there.
New one on me.
Owner of multiple patented matchmaker AI technologies. They are using AI to connect people together now. That's a whole different ballgame. Yes, it is. This is where it gets even different. Bigger, hand-in-hand branded retail stores. Key advantage over competition. You can either go there to do your searching, or you can go to their stores to meet somebody. You meet them online, you can go to a safe environment and go to one of their establishments and meet people. I don't know of any dating app that does that. Full year 23 royalty revenues was 1.9 million, with licensing agreements in place to deliver $77 million in royalties over the next 3 years. Now, I want to give you some information about this because it is not your everyday average dating app. YYEM has already proven its business model in China market, where its licensee partner operates 200 hand-in-hand branded retail stores. We're talking brick and mortar, 200 of them across 40 cities. One-time subscriber matchmaker fees of amounts of as high as $1,500. You want to find a lover, it could be expensive. How many first dates could you go out on with $1,500? Even expensive dates. You can do a lot of them. Let's see here. As high as $1,500, provide the subscriber with a bespoke matchmaking service delivered through face-to-face interactions across their own stores. YYEM's retail operation sets it apart from its prominent competitors, with storefronts expected to grow to 1,000 stores in 2024 and 10,000 stores in 3 years, increasing the registered subscriber base to over 3 million in 2024, and in turn, rapidly growing the revenue base. Yeah, I bet. YYM collected royalties of about 1.9 million in its year ending January 31st, 2024, and has already established licensing agreements in the UK, Europe, Southeast Asia, and Sub-Saharan Africa, with cumulative contracted revenue over the next 3 years in excess of 70 million. Well, heck yeah, this is a business you can do in every country. Everybody wants to be loved. Nobody wants to be alone, and you can do it in your own language because you're talking to people in your own country. This is a great idea. AI is going to help them meet people that would fit them, and they have places to go where they can be safe. It's totally different. It's totally unique. It's a first mover as far as I'm concerned. So what was the relative volume around the company today? What? Oh, come on. Did it go off the market? Did it get halted? What happened here? It dropped from 3.9 million as a daily average over the last 30 days. And you know there's days higher than that in an average. And today she's at 158,000. Something's not right here. If you all weren't here, I'd do some more due diligence. Let's see what we've got for share structure. Well, that's pretty decent. Outstanding shares is only 36 million. Insiders have 12 million. We only get 24 million. Now, they may not call that a low float legitimately because it's not at 10 million less. I call that a low float. 24 million is great. Market cap, we got 27 million. What are they doing in money? Well, they are making money up and down. Well, during COVID, they were doing 10 million. After COVID, people were out and about, did 16 million. Now it's calmed down. It's down to back to about 10 million. And their profits are all over the place. Started 3 million, jumped to 4 million, back down under 3 million. What about their quarterlies? Those are pretty steady, but they're on a low end right now, going from 1.5 up to 3 million. We're at 2 million right in the middle, but the profits are up now. That's the highest profits they've ever made. Taking a look at the balance sheet for the company. Wow, lots of money in the bank from dating. 17 million. Total assets, I'm surprised that, well, that's right. If you've got, I was going to say, for a dating app, how could you have a whole lot of assets?
So it's its own app. It's not like a support for other apps. Is that what you're saying? What it
Well,
does?
yeah, they own their own app, but they guess you got all those stores too, which that's going to add up to a lot of assets. If you're not leasing them, you start buying the pieces of property. So we got 21 million in assets, 17 million in liabilities. That gives us 4 million positive stockholder equity. Looking good. And I do believe that covers everything. Let's just poke our head in here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Submission matters of a vote. Oh, you always want to check a vote and see if they're talking about a split. Proposal 4.
I was going to say, have they had any reverse or like reverse splits prior
right here?
To,
right here.
They had to have, because I'm getting limited, very, very limited information on this chart on TradingView.
They tell us here they voted for a reverse split and approved it. I don't know when it was enacted, but they were approving anywhere from a 1 to 10 to a 1 in 100. But they don't tell us the date. They don't give us any more information. That was just inside the 8K, which was the most recent 8K. So I'm presuming they haven't done their reverse stock split yet. Wow. So if they do a 1 in 10, it's going to take the float down to 3.6 million. You can't do a 1 in 100.
Yeah, I'm saying, did it have one before, like in the past? Because I'm getting really limited information on TradingView.
I've got no more information.
Yeah, you might, because this is all I have on TradingView now. But I'm looking at Robinhood and it's telling me a lot of different things. But the problem is Robinhood doesn't have like real charts.
Here's the thing. It was in the news. They just changed their ticker to YYAI.
Oh, okay. Then that was it. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is that they changed their ticker before they closed the deal. I saw that. It was a week before they closed the deal. They changed their ticker. And I thought to myself, well, that was a good sign the deal was going to be approved. So, yeah, that's why there's not a whole lot of chart. They just
this is all I can get, really. So we can see this gap up. So these are regular candles. Like you said, if there's a gap, then these are not Hakanashi. So this happened, let's see, between like April 9th and April 15th, give or take. I'm not sure what is going on here, but so we had a big gap up and then we reached a high of about, looks like 260 something, 268.
Good ballpark. 260 is good.
267. Okay, whatever. And then, we came back up, and then now we've been pretty much sideways for about the past month.
Yeah, that's all it looks like. She took a rip and a dip, and it doesn't matter to us.
And now we're just straight here. Yeah.
She's not even trying to find a middle ground to come back up.
Oh, wait. Here we go. Here we go. There was a stock split. It just popped up. I don't know how that happened. It was in September of 2023. That's weird. Look, the daily chart shows nothing, and then I click 4 hour, and I get all this. So we did have a reverse split, 1 for 40 on the 25th of September, 2023.
And
so
we
there
got
was
another
something.
One.
I thought so, because Robinhood has this weird, it looks like it had been like $100 or something in recent past.
Yeah, adjusted chart.
Yeah, so
we've had one reverse split, and now we're going to have another reverse split.
Yeah.
That's not good, folks. And you know who that's on? Us. We're not bidding the price up. Every time they have a reverse stock split because they can't meet the minimum bid price, look at ourselves in the mirror. It's not the company. They got to keep doing it because we won't get the market back up. I'll tell you what, when this market starts kicking, there's going to be a lot of stocks out there with really small floats, and they're going to start throwing the shares on there while the market's growing. So get in while the getting's good.
Damn, yeah, I mean, even like on the shorter time frames, like 1 hour, there's really not that much. I mean, we've had a few little like
you can see she ignored she ignored the 200, came right down on her head, and she didn't even try to break out. No.
Yeah.
So
but the 200 is messed up anyway because of that stock split. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point on the 1 hour. But yeah,
this doesn't look stock. I would, except for the merger. That's the only thing that could change things here. You know, but right now it looks sideways activity, and I don't like sideways activity. That's the way
we don't have a whole lot of volume either.
No, there isn't.
It's been a while, yeah, at least a month. So
this wouldn't make it to my watch list. No.
Yeah, that's about it for that.
That's it for everything then. Woohoo! Look at that, 540. Sorry about that, folks. You do what you can do. You know, we could have just done 7 or 6 stocks, but I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can. I can't do a deep dive, but I try to give you something maybe you weren't expecting or couldn't find. So in saying that, do your own due diligence. I didn't give you the all to end all. Go find what else there is to know. There's always more to know. Thanks for being here, folks. We will be back next week. Yeah, there's no holiday. Remember, there's no trading on Monday. That's a day off, so you can sleep in. And we'll be here 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Thursday. Right, Taylor?
Right.
See you then, folks.
Bye.